I'm Chris Atkinson and I'm head of the Women's Entrepreneurship Hub in the Centre for Enterprise at the University of Glamorgan. Women's entrepreneurship was adopted as a priority of the university in 2008 and it's my pleasure to lead that area. Today I'd like to talk about challenging stereotypes and myths around women and entrepreneurship. And the key question really is what's missing from the picture? This is the question that's posed within the field of women's entrepreneurship. In this brief introduction, I want to reflect on how our knowledge about women entrepreneurs and the experience of women entrepreneurs in entrepreneurship are influenced by two sets of stereotypes and myths. So, firstly, the study of entrepreneurs and entrepreneurship has been dominated until very recently by an implicit reference to a male norm against which women entrepreneurs have tended to be measured. Inevitably, because it reflects a male norm, often they're different, and when they've been measured against that norm, tend not to have conformed to exactly what might be expected. As a result, they've tended to be found to be lacking. It's interesting to note that the field of women's entrepreneurship is still a relatively young field. In fact, the first scholarly article to focus on women and entrepreneurship, a new female frontier by Eleanor Schwartz, was published in the Journal of Contemporary Business only in 1976. Since then, key researchers such as Baker and Aldridge in 1997 and Merchandani in 1999 have demonstrated how women's experience of entrepreneurship was overlooked, neglected and ignored in some of the early research that really has formed our foundations and the understanding about entrepreneurs and their ventures. In fact, in some early research studies, when women's responses differed from those of men, they were completely rejected from the analysis rather than being further explored. Again, until very recently, women entrepreneurs have been treated as a homogeneous group with a common set of characteristics, and a set of stereotypes and myths have grown up and informed perceptions about their aspirations, experience and achievements. This has impacted not only on women entrepreneurs themselves and what they set out to achieve, but also has impacted upon those who seek to advise them and help them. In 2000, Still and Timms noted the emphasis on studies of women running solo or micro businesses and went on to point out the heterogeneity among women entrepreneurs with multiple growth trajectories in relation to their businesses, often linked to their changing life stages. In the last 20 years, the field of women's entrepreneurship has grown significantly. Key researchers such as Brush, De Brun and Velter in 2009 noted both the fast-growing numbers of women entrepreneurs worldwide, but also the significant contribution they make in relation to innovation, employment and wealth creation in economies. However, it's important to consider that still, in the UK, women are less than half as likely as men to be setting up their own business or becoming self-employed. It's time to challenge some of the key myths and stereotypes that constrain women entrepreneurs as individuals and limit their horizons and those imposed on them by others. For example, while some women do aim towards self-employment as a means of providing an income for themselves and their families, others aim from the start to set up fast-growing businesses, to employ other people and to become players on a world stage. For example, locally here in Wales, Hayley Parsons set up Go Compare, a major business and employer. Equally, some women may aim to start a small business but plan a longer growth trajectory. Sometimes that might be in relation to their changing life stages. Sometimes their concern is about setting up something and getting it right from the beginning before they start the growth process. While some women seek flexibility as a key motivation for startup, achieving work-life balance may not be a key motivator for others. So it's important for us to make those differences and be aware that there are different ways of doing things. Sometimes the whole area of trying to create a living wage can be the thing that drives women onwards. Sometimes they're interested more in achieving a social aim. So great differences between different kinds of women. So overall, while great strides have been made in the field of women's entrepreneurship, and it's important to celebrate the successes that have been achieved both by individuals and the field overall, there's still some way to go before women are really free to achieve their full potential. International Women's Day originally started as a means of women trying to achieve their full potential and their full earning potential. And it's key for us to appreciate that we're still struggling towards women achieving such things as equal pay and being able to exercise a free choice. At the University of Glamorgan, we're working hard on our women's entrepreneurship area by such things as our New at Glam initiative, which encourages students to engage with women in business in the community and the business support sector so that we can share knowledge and develop new knowledge and practice together.